So what Black History means to me, it actually means a lot. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church where we had a lot of emphasis on Black history, which taught me a lot of my culture from different standpoints. The thing I take pride in is the fact that it has shown where we have came as a culture to where we are now. And it's always a daily and a strive to be better. You have influential people who mainstream like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, just to name a few, but there are so many more that have done so much more that allows me to be in the position I am right now in this school. You got to think about it. About 50 to 60 years ago, I would not have been able to even teach here. So the fact that all those things have transpired over the time of my life and everybody else's life shows you how much Black history needs to be explained and how much it means to me by giving me the opportunities I've had so far that my grandparents did not have.
I think Black History Month gives other races and groups of people a chance to shine a little bit more when maybe their history and culture hasn't been covered as thoroughly throughout our nation's history.
Black History Month to me is a time where we celebrate the achievements and the struggles of African Americans in our country and really showcase what they have been able to overcome.
So for me, it's an interesting thing. I was born on Friday the 13th, and I have this interesting, weird connection with the number 13. And one of the most significant moments in history is the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. So it gave people like me an opportunity to be able to be teachers in this environment. It gave my dad an opportunity to be in the military for 20 years as a master sergeant. My mom, even as an artist and as a teacher herself for a little while. It just gave people like me a lot more opportunities to have the same freedoms and have a successful life like anyone else in this country.
For me, Black History Month means it's a great time to look at the great language historical figures used to fight for justice.
Black History Month, I think, is very important. I've enjoyed it so far. I think it is wonderful that we're able to, what we're normally are studying overall history, and now they are zeroing in on things that have happened with Black history, which I think is very interesting. The other thing I love about it is I watch the news a lot and I listen to podcasts, and there's been a lot of highlights of different African American people who have contributed quite a bit to society, and I think that it's extremely interesting. I think it's good for the kids, it's good for the teachers, it's good for everybody.
When I think of Black History Month, I'm reminded of the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. I'm reminded of how so many different cultures can come together, appreciate the differences, but ultimately stand in unity with one another. I think that every culture should be honored and represented, and just gives us a special time to reflect on the contributions of Black history in our lives today. And it shouldn't go without recognition and appreciation.
For my birthday, every single year, my mother gives me a book. And each of those books tend to be something important that she wants me to know. So in 1978, the book that she gave me was the book Amos Fortune, Free Man. And it was my first encounter with a book that explored what happened to African American people and how our country was founded. Since that time, I became really passionate about learning about social justice issues, civil rights issues, and that led me to take a drive across America to learn all about the history of our nation and the history of the people in it. And what I encountered was some really interesting things, including poetry books about the blues and about some of the rich history that African American people have brought to our nation through the arts, through poetry, through music. And it sort of began as an obsession, really, of being able to explore places across our country that celebrate the power of the voices of the people. And so I would just encourage you to grab a book and to share some of the poems of some of our famous African American poets in our country, because it has enormous power.